Chapter 22. In the Belly of the Shark. An hour later, the man began to pull on the rope that he had tied to the donkey's leg. He pulled and pulled until he couldn't believe his eyes. Instead of a dead donkey, there was a live puppet. "What happened to the donkey that I threw into the sea?" he asked. "I am the little donkey," Pinocchio said, laughing. "But how can this be? Just moments ago you were a little donkey. How could you become a wooden puppet?" the man asked. "Untie me and I'll tell you," Pinocchio said. The man was curious and untied the rope. When Pinocchio was free, he told the man the entire tale of how he went to Funville and became a donkey that was sold to a circus, became lame, and ended up being sold to be made into a drum. "Is that the end of your story?" the man asked. "No," Pinocchio answered. "It was the good fairy who saved me." "And who is this fairy?" he asked. "She is my mamma, and she is like all other good mothers who care for their children and who never lose sight of them, helping them no matter what. The good fairy saw that I was drowning, and she sent a school of fish to eat the dead donkey's skin. What mouthfuls they took," Pinocchio said. "From this moment on," the man said, "I'll never touch fish again. It would be too awful to open one and then find a donkey's tail inside." The man told Pinocchio that he was going to sell him. "Sell me if you want to," Pinocchio said as he jumped into the water and swam away from the shore. "Goodbye, master. If you ever need a donkey skin to make a drum, think of me," Pinocchio laughed. While he swam, Pinocchio thought he saw a pretty little goat standing on a rock in the middle of the sea, calling out to him. The little goat's hair was blue. It was the same color blue as the hair of the beautiful little girl. Pinocchio swam twice as hard to reach the rock. When he was halfway there, he saw the horrible head of a sea monster coming up out of the water towards him. The monster's wide mouth was open and was as big as a cave. It was the gigantic shark that had been seen the other day that old Geppetto was lost at sea. Pinocchio was terrified at the sight of this monster and tried to change the direction of his swimming. "Hurry, Pinocchio! Hurry!" the little blue goat called. Pinocchio swam as fast as his arms could carry him. "Hurry, Pinocchio! Hurry! The shark is right behind you!" the goat yelled. Pinocchio had almost reached the rock, and the little goat reached out to help him. But it was too late! The huge monster overtook him. With a deep breath, the shark sucked in poor Pinocchio. The sea monster swallowed him, and Pinocchio fell, unconscious, into the shark's stomach. When he woke up, Pinocchio couldn't understand where he was. It was very dark. At first, he tried to keep up his courage, but when he realized that he was really in the body of a sea monster, he began to cry and scream and sob. "Help me! How unfortunate I am! Will no one save me?" he cried.
"Who do you expect to save you?"
asked a tuna that had been swallowed by the shark at the same time. "What are we going to do now?" Pinocchio asked.
"Wait to be digested," the tuna said.
"I don't want to be digested," Pinocchio responded.
"Me neither," the tuna said. "But being born a fish, I know it is better than to end up in a frying pan."
"That may be your opinion, but I want to get out of here," Pinocchio cried.
"Escape if you can," the tuna said.
"Is this shark very big?" the puppet asked.
"Big? His body is 2 miles long without his tail," the fish exclaimed.
While they were talking, Pinocchio saw a light. "What is that?" he asked.
"Probably someone like us waiting to be digested," the tuna said.
"I'm going to find him. Maybe he can show us how to escape," Pinocchio said. Pinocchio left the tuna and walked in the direction of the light. When at last he reached it, he saw a man seated at a table with a candle in a bottle. The man was Geppetto. "Oh, my dear papa!" Pinocchio shouted. "I have found you finally! I will never leave you again! Never, never, never!"
"Are my eyes tricking me?" the little old man asked. "Is it really you? My dear little Pinocchio?"
"Yes, it's really me! Have you forgiven me? Oh, my dear papa, how good you are to forgive me!" Pinocchio said. "How long have you been in here?" the puppet asked his father.
"For many days,"
Geppetto said. "How did you survive?" the puppet asked.
"Another ship was swallowed in the same storm that overturned my boat," Geppetto said. The sailors were all saved, but the ship went to the bottom. The shark swallowed the ship, and then he swallowed me."
"How?" Pinocchio asked.
"He swallowed it in one mouthful. I was lucky that the ship was full of preserved meats and boxes of matches, but I'm just about to run out of everything. This candle is the last one," Geppetto said.
"Then there is no time to waste," Pinocchio said. "We must think of a way to escape."
"How?" Geppetto asked.
"Through the shark's mouth, and then into the sea, where we will swim to shore," Pinocchio said.
"But I don't know how to swim," Geppetto said.
"I'll carry you," Pinocchio said. They walked for a very long time, traveling through the body of the shark. When they arrived at the point where the shark's big throat began, they stopped to look around to choose the best moment to escape. "Now," he whispered to Geppetto, "the shark is sleeping. We'll be safe soon." With Geppetto on his shoulders, Pinocchio jumped into the water and began to swim.